Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Salam
afternoon,
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
everybody. Okay,
Halo,
honorable to the chairman of International Institute of Academic Research and Publications, and respectable to the other author of this paper. For the first, praise be to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The Almighty God has given us mercies and helps, placed us above all other creation as the representative of Him. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is about management strategy in moving real sector of mosque-based MSMES. And the author of this paper is Professor Dr. M. Yasir Nasution, Insinyur Pandapotan MM, Anggi Pratiwi Sitorus MA, and Kamarudin MM from the State Institute for Islamic Studies of North Sumatra, Medan. As we know that Indonesia is a country which has the largest Muslim population in the world, with a Muslim population of 209 million people, or around 82% of the Indonesian total population. Next, Indonesia, with the largest Muslim population, or 82% of the total population, it will be supporting the construction of 700,000 mosque buildings throughout Indonesia. And plus, year over year, the number of mosque growth has increased by 20%. And mosque has a means of worship, economy, and social, which is closest to the Muslim population. By the large number of mosques, the mosques certainly give many significant roles in the economic, social, and religious sectors. The role in the implementation of religious and social activities should not be questioned. It clearly can be seen from the large roles of the mosque in facilitating people to do religious activities and social activities. However, a question arises regarding the role of mosque in the economic sector. Does it really exist? If yes, why is the role of mosque in the economic society still not being felt in Indonesia? Next, the Indonesian capital problems of MSMES. Data from the Central of Statistics show that after the economic crisis in 1997 until 1998, the number of MSMES did not decrease. Instead, it is continued to increase, even being able to absorb 85 to 107 million labor until 2016. In that year, the number of entrepreneurs in Indonesia was 57 million units. From the number, micro, small, and medium enterprises, or we can call MSMES, was 58 units, or 98% of the total entrepreneurs. In other words, around 60% until 70% of all MSMES sectors do not have access to finance through banks or other financial institutions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our paper is focused to transaction, to improve justice and welfare, moving the real sector of mosque-based MSMES, and the last one is strategy in moving the economic of the Ummah or Muslim community. The first is transaction to improve justice and welfare. Islam is a religion with a concept of rahmatan lil alamin, which means bringing peace to the Ummah. And then one of the factors in creating peace and tranquility between the Ummah is the balance of economic welfare. And the last is Indonesia, with the majority of Muslim population should be able to implement the application of Islamic law based on the Al-Quran and Sunnah, especially in the application of the economy for justice and welfare for the Ummah. The basic principles of Islamic economics are the property belongs to Allah, and humans are assigned the task of managing them according to commandment. Quran Surat An-Najmu walillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardi liyajziyal ladzina asa'u bima amilu wa yajziyal ladzina ahsanu bil husna. And for Allah is what is in the heavens and what is in the earth, that he may punish those who do evil with that which they have done, and reward those who do good with what is better. Okay, there are two pictures on the wall. The first is a mosque, is a religious institution closely related to the cultural, social, and spiritual life of the Ummah. Where there is the Muslim, there is the mosque. And then the second pictures, the movement of Msmes starts with mosque funds managed by Board Self-Reliance Community, or we can call in Indonesia BKM. Then it is distributed to the community around the mosque by involving Islamic financial institution in the application. As we know that the first is mosque as the center of Msmes movement. In order to manage the mosque properly and professionally, it should be appointed a person or worshipper who has business competence and Islamic religious law to manage activities and move this real sector by utilizing the financial and human resources owned by the congregation. And the second is funding source management. Financial resources owned by mosque congregations may be like Ummah funds managed by secretary, or we can call Nazir of the mosque, such as zakat, infaq, and sadaqah, and potential diversity resources of congregation to become a small-scale business ecosystem. So it is hoped that a business activity will emerge that shows supply and demand. So this is the role of management strategy. For the first as input, congregation and mosque of the Muslim community. Next is delving of congregation potential. Next is mapping of the consumption and production congregation. And then the allocation of Msmes capital funds, encouraging of purchase and sell among the congregation. And last but not the least is output economic activity of Msmes real sector inter-Muslim. So the conclusion of the role is to move the real sector of mosque-based Msmes, it is necessary to carry out a process of extracting the potential of mosque congregation by collecting data from the economic aspects into the following categories: able or unable, and then job sector, education sector, and the last is the number of families. Okay, next. This is the strategy in moving economic of the Ummah. Namely, the first is Board of Self-Reliance Community, or BKM, of mosque management must have a concern for the benefit of the Ummah, because a mosque is actually the Ummah's and Ummah's problem, is the mosque problem as well. The second one is the financial institution as supporter of venture capital funds for Msmes doers. Either it is Islamic banking or it is national zakat agency. And the third is Msmes doers. So the conclusion of this presentation is the strategy of establishing cooperation between Islamic banking and the Mosque Board of Self-Reliance Community can provide solution for Msmes who do not have collateral assets in obtaining business capital loan. And then by increasing the function of the mosque to the economic sector of the Ummah, it will certainly provide job opportunities for congregations to manage the ones who will get productive capital loan. So that is can help finding educated workers who are still unemployed. And the last is thank you very much for your attention. If you find some mistakes, I beg your pardon. See you next time. Finally, and I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.